Magnificat anima mea Dominum,
et exsultat spiritus meus in Deo salutari meo.
Welcome to the new episode of the theme Saint Teresa of Avila, Mother of Interior Souls. St. Paul tells us that the gravest sin that bars one from the reception of the Blessed Sacrament is the causing of division in a community. Because some Christian communities were divided due to the horrendous discriminative attitude towards the poor and unwanted and unchristian allegiance to their pioneers who baptized them. Since unworthily they received communion, St. Paul says, "Many of you are weak and ill, and some have died." Harboring of grudge or party strife or to desire to be the great or any nice point concerning one's honor, all such things shake the very foundation of community life. In many ways arise the occasions that help destroy the joyous tempo of the life in common. Sometimes in a community, a group of the like-minded flocks together, isolating the rest, taking upper hand in every decision making. Youngsters at times come forward, showing a throwaway culture to the senior members. Some religious members arrogantly try to corner their superiors, claiming to be better leaders. Those who absent themselves regularly from community prayers dissuade the young generation to neglect community prayer sessions. Listen to what Jesus says about them. "If any of you put a stumbling block before one of these little ones who believe in me, it would be better for you if a great millstone were fastened around your neck and you were drowned in the depth of the sea." The vices common to ambitious superiors are the following. They speak ill of other superiors. They do not care for the good of the religious family. Such a superior is like a mother-in-law wishing the death of her son so that the daughter-in-law could be widowed. To unseat their rival superiors or to dismember the current leadership in the religious family or to dislodge a particular superior from power, some are prone to spread any kind of slander. They make use of intrigues like Absalom to seduce the hearts of the religious. Superiors regularly accuse each other of hypocrisy. Some superiors remain obsessed with each other, each with keeping the others down rather than with the issues that face the religious institute. Superiors resort to various ways to keep his rivals from re-entering the corridors of power. The ambitious superiors come together because they need each other in situations fair and foul. Another may behave in such a way that he can get elected again as superior because of the pockets of influence created by him. Lack of understanding and the mutual respect ruins a religious family. Indian Express of October 20, 1998, in its editorial, reported that the cause of one airplane accident was that the commander and his co-pilot were not on speaking terms. Some superiors, in order to retain power, give permission to his members to violate the rules of the religious institute, show partiality, and close their eyes to the blatantly wrong actions of some of his community members. Let those who thirst for honor listen to St. John. Now, before the festival of Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. He then washed the feet of his disciples and said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. But if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example that you also should do as I have done to you." Meditate upon the death of Jesus on the cross. The contempt in which he is held cannot possibly be surpassed, while insults, shouts of derision, and calumnies are continually ringing in his ears. Jesus chooses insults instead of honors. Listen to the words of St. Paul. Jesus, though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be exploited, but emptied himself, taking the form of a slave, being born in human likeness, and being found in human form, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. When we meditate on the humiliations Jesus underwent for love of us, we will be forced to repeat this prayer of St. Therese of Lisieux. Let me never be a burden to the community and never claim anybody's attention. I want them all to think of me as no better than a grain of sand trampled under the foot and forgotten. Jesus, for love of you. Let us keep in mind these words of our Holy Mother, St. Teresa. She writes, "If one of you should be cross with another because of some hasty word, the matter must at once be put right. And you must betake yourself to earnest prayer. The same applies to the harboring of any grudge, or to party strife, or to the desire to be greatest, or to any nice point concerning your honor. My blood seems to run cold as I write this, at the very idea that this can ever happen, but I know it is the chief trouble in convents. Oh, what a great evil is this! God deliver us from a convent into which it enters. I would rather our convent caught fire and we were all burned alive. Thank you.